Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Build. If you want to catch us live building this, you can head on over to twitch.tv/Yogscast and just hang out with me and the crew, just building this and having some fun, listening to some tunes, and just chilling out building in Minecraft. Now, what is this? If you're late to the party and you haven't seen the streams or the previous videos, what we're doing is we're building a survival games map based around sky islands. In the first few episodes, we created a couple of sky islands, and recently we've been populating them with buildings and trees and decorations and things. Now, this is the second of the islands, a big one, and what we're building here is a kind of like a skyport. Now imagine a port on the side of like a docks section of a town or a city, and that's basically what we've got here. The only difference being there's no water, it's just boats that float in the sky, and we're also on a sky island. So as you can see here, there's the framework down there in the corner of the island for a crane, but we didn't decide on a design yet, so we're going to be probably doing that tonight. We might also get round to building ships tonight, so wait and see with that. But this big building that we've been focusing on recently is going to be the tavern, and you guys in chat gave me the inspiration to call it the Captain's Booty. And it's a pretty simple tavern design. We've used logs as the framework in a kind of wireframe style, and then we're using stone brick in between those logs to fill it in. It hasn't got too much depth or detail because originally it was going to be quite a simple build, but it's actually turned out to be quite a high, sprawling build. Now I wanted to do something a little bit different and a little bit special with the roof. So what I made was imagine like a regular V-shaped peaked roof. What I wanted to do was take one of those V-shaped roofs, flip it horizontally, or rather turn it by 90 degrees, and then plonk it down on itself, so you have kind of like a cross of V's, if that makes sense. And that's what we're going for here. Unfortunately, designing these kind of V-shaped roofs that cross over themselves takes a long time, and it takes a lot of placement and practice and kind of messing around to get used to where it's got to be. But once I had the design locked in place, I could go around and make another pass with the wooden steps here, fill it in, and make it look all nice. Now, we did make some changes eventually to the roof, because I wasn't happy with the whole thing being a complete V. So we cut off one of the V's and set it back against the other roof, you can see here, and instead made this kind of more like a window box than an actual roof. And I'm happier with that kind of effect. And again, we were ornamenting the whole place with fence posts, extra upside down and normal way up cobblestone stairs. And I wanted to add some flower boxes too, because every tavern needs a good set of flower boxes. And the flower boxes were simply just pieces of dirt with wooden hatches on the side that were in their open position, so the wooden hatches were spread against the dirt. And you can see there the flowers and the wooden hatches. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? And again, because I'd finished one side of the roof, to make things easier, I just literally copied it, rotated it 180 degrees, and then pasted it over the other side to just complete that symmetrical look. Now I added these extra bolsters to the roof. You can see here some of the supports on the roof are thicker, and that's again just to give the building a bit more life and a bit more texture. And to that end, I also added this kind of lip around the bottom of the building out of stone brick steps. And I added those logs on the bottom too. And this is again just to give the building a bit more pop, to kind of bring it out of its framework a little bit more. I decorated the windows, added some glass and some more wooden fence posts you see there. And now the top area as well, underneath the kind of balcony bit, is going to be an area where patrons of the pub can come around and walk around the top. I might put some tables up there, but it's really just a place for kind of people in the pub to kind of get some fresh air. And since the smoking ban, it's a place for people to go and smoke their pipes and cigars. I added a front entrance over the front here as well, as you can see, and decorated that with some slabs, some torches, put some doors in, and messed around until I was happy with the results. And then it was just kind of floating around, getting some last minute touch-ups surveying the area, working out what I need and what I wanted. Now, we're also using something called Mo Creatures, and you can't see me doing it here, but what I'm actually doing is running around plonking down different types of creatures to mess around with. Because one of the things that our build's going to have is the Mo Creatures mod, and what that does is it adds all kind of cool things like ogres, zebras, moles, Komodo dragons, and even stone golems that rip the world apart around them, kind of like Endermen, to make their own body. And then once their body's complete, they walk around, they stomp around, and they're made of stone. But you got to be careful with stone golems, because they rip the environment around them apart. Now you can't see me inside here, but I'm messing around with the interior, just decorating the place, adding some bar stools and things like that. But overall, I'm really happy with how this tavern has come out. I added more hatches down the bottom as window latches to kind of have some raised windows. Added some more windows up top as well. And we have these big window boxes around the front. One that I copied around the back. Now the flooring inside isn't complete and we haven't got a way to get up to the top of the tower yet. But I imagine these are going to be the expensive rooms for the ship captains that come to dock in their big, glorious, ornate skyships. Now it was time to work on the pub garden. So I added a water feature with a pond, some lights, a cobblestone wall and some fences on top with these jack-o'-lanterns. There's even some lily pads there in the pond. And what I was doing here was a small trick that I've learned with pistons. I dug a small hole of 4 blocks, put redstone torches at the bottom, then put pistons on top of them so the pistons were always extended. And what that does is that creates this kind of table effect that you see here. And it looks pretty good. Now, some of you guys mentioned that there are actually tables in the mod pack that we're using, the furniture mod pack. So I did come back around and tried out using those tables, but I wasn't overly happy with the result. Also, some of you guys said that the path looked a bit too regular. And you guys were right as well. So I messed around with the shape of it and took it away from being that straight kind of... Here you can see me messing around with the tables, and yeah, they do look better as pistons, I think. So we were back to that piston look. And I used your idea of keeping the path irregular, used water as a filler, and then went around with my tool, replacing the water with the material that we ended up deciding on as the path. And I think this is a type of andesite, or kind of one of the variations of cobblestone that's new to the game. Well, new, I say it's 1.8. We added some acacia trees as well around the edge. And looking at this, I think we're almost done with the tavern. It's only one of the buildings that's going to be down on the docks, and it's taken us a while to get around to finishing it. But I can't wait to move on to the next piece of architecture next episode. I want to finish off the crane, but I also want to get the main buildings of the docks, because there's going to be all kinds of areas that you're going to want to go to at the docks. I added a window box around the back here because the back of the building was a bit too flat, and I'm happy with how that turned out. Again, we used the trick of putting buttons on the side of logs to give them more detail, and I really like the way that's turned out too. But definitely the next time we record, probably live streaming right now, the creation of the actual docks area. And I want to start with a big warehouse. Lots of areas for crates and boxes, because that's the kind of thing that ships are going to carry around. There's going to be markets too, some fish sellers, because there's going to be some fish... Well, hang on a sec, skyfish? Yeah, sure, there's going to be some fish sellers selling skyfish, because why not? Flying fish are a thing. And there's also going to be a customs area, because when people arrive with their skyships, they're going to need somewhere to go through customs to make sure they're not carrying any illegal contraband. And we're going to need a port authority and some guards, maybe even some guard towers and some cannons to defend the port against attack from sky pirates. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching Let's Build. Come and join us on the stream. It's twitch.tv/Yogscast. I'm there every Friday between 5 and 8 p.m, sometimes a bit longer as well, if we're feeling a bit, if we're feeling like extending it. So until next time, guys, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you for some more building, hopefully on Fridays. Take care.